So when you're going on the left navigation bar, this toolbar, when we click, you notice we have it standard, we have it procedurals, and we have it loaded procedurals. But also when you have it options to load, it's come up with the presets of the infinity terrain. And what does infinity terrain is replace your ground plane, and it's created this mountains and all this infinity to render. So as example, let's best to look, we'll go click on one to enable, and it says we're going to create infinity procedurals. Do you like to discard existing ground? So normally you want to discard, because otherwise it will overlap and you'll see some kind of ground come up. But in case if you want to keep it, you always can keep it. So we'll go OK. And next it's tell us that is you want view sea level in the scenery. So we'll go click OK. It's add sea level. However, sea level is disabled from render, and right here we can disable even from view, so it's created. Let's zoom out. You'll notice right here we created this terrain now replaced in this mountain. It's a rough terrain, it's what we wanted, so it does create kind of infinity. We'll take our camera and we'll move up so we can leave it preview. You can see right here we have a very nice view. Here's a little bit different. So on this terrain, rough terrain, and let's add just the ground plane for now. Infinity ground plane, if we right click, we actually cannot edit this object, so it's just ground plane. We can modify materials, but it is going from infinity to infinity without any shape and other things. So on the rough, it is procedurals, and you can see right here we have it. So we can go inside and we can edit this object. So now we have our terrain editor kind of applied, and in this case we can preview and you can select area we wanted. So let's reposition. In many cases you sometimes want to re-enable any other options if you wanted to preview, like maybe terrain. And in my cases, if I want to see okay, let's view, this is more default, and if I enable camera, so I can preview with my camera and other objects, so I can easy to find my position. By default also it's just displayed by red. So but my camera, I notice it's point this way. So if I want to add details on an infinity terrain, it's almost impossible to do this. I need to work with the zones. So in this case I can go click add, right here my camera, I can select this area right here, and I can start working with this zone specifically. So I can, if I place building, I can modify it. I can set some painting. Okay, so let's go to see if I can increase. Okay, this is the invert. So just overall, I'm just going to paint something very fast. So you can see right here. Okay, also let's go in the zones and enable a little bit fading. So let's have a little bit better. And normally when we do with fading, just as example, we go on an edge right here, a little bit on the zone. So we'll see how the fading will work there. Okay, like on the edges. Right here, those edges. Okay, so we preset. We have our zone set. Here's our entire, and we just selected some area right there. We can close it, and you can see far away right here, it's what it was creating. So we can take our camera, move slightly closer, and this is area right, it's what we just modified. So you can add even closer. We can go, okay, somewhere like right here. I think we have a nice fading, so even on the edge when I created those high, it's smooth out with existing terrain. Okay, maybe not, just move slightly back, but you can see our some terrain modifications. As well, other things even I modified in a school, but because it's using procedure terrain, so it's add additional details. This way you can create very nice, very natural scenery inside. And how I said, we can fly over, and we'll just can go over this segment and you can preview. Also notice right here, when I expand it, we have our terrain, and we also have it showing us if we have any additional segments inside this area. Okay, as we speak about infinity terrain, there also another infinity, if you remember, if we go inside the options, it is using spherical, so we can enable the radius. Again, it will start bending slightly, and let's use it planetary. Switch shape infinity terrain, yes, because it does kind of stretching and lock them together. And let's use it maybe about 10 kilometers. I know it will be very small, like asteroid type, but it's help us to see here a little bit better. Let me take my camera. And sometimes to move this camera, it's a little bit tricky when you do about from spherical. Okay, right here. And let me go modified positioning. Okay, so take my camera position. You can see right here zones that we just modified. Okay, maybe around right there. So this is about area what I modified, but again, this is spherical. This is another type, and most time it does have fun use, but it is kind of somewhat limited use. Just depend what you're doing. If you have a space scenery or you want a little bit more accurate horizon, but in the horizon again, you won't necessarily do planet. You will probably going and just do spherical, so apply a little bit. But here's the options, and again from infinity round, and you can modify, select specific area, work on them, embedded them inside your terrain, so you still have all these large procedures and come closer. That become very useful when several projects, for example, when you directly have it like historical flyover and you come to the city, so you want to add details on a city, on a landscape. So in this case, you can do procedural when you fly over everything and take off zone and rework that zone and implement maybe that element of the terrain just in this area and blend it very well together. So we'll work a little bit more on this in our other project, but right here is kind of terrain editor for our terrain.